Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Sauce. Today I'd like to talk to you about people who are afraid of the dark and magic tricks. The same reason as to why magic tricks actually work tends to be the same reason why most people are afraid of the dark. It's not because it's the fear of the unknown, but rather it's because of something specific that your eye does when you're looking at anything. And in the dark it kind of amplifies it because you're not really looking at anything. Anytime you're looking at something, regardless of what it is, just a direct object, your eye focuses 100% on that object. And it kind of intentionally blurs everything in the surrounding area. And it's done so well to the point where you can't even notice that it's blurring the surrounding area around your vision until something moves, or your head moves, or the angle of your head moves, to the point where your brain perceives something moving in that blurred space. A lot of the times your brain will actually perceive that something's moving when it isn't as a defense mechanism. Let's say you were looking at a tree in the distance, and there's a bush next to the tree, and you're just staring dead center at the tree, or maybe a bird that's in the tree, and you think you see some motion in the bush because you turned your head slightly, or you closed your jaw too fast, or you blinked too quickly, or things like that, and you see or you think you see the bush move. Whether it was the wind maybe or something, you think you see the bush move. Your brain perceives that there's something moving in the bush, like a tiger or something. So as a defense mechanism, it instantly draws your attention to that spot. That defense mechanism is extremely useful if you're ever in the wilderness or something where a predator might actually be after you. But now that we're in modern society where predators aren't after you to eat you for dinner every 3 or 4 minutes, it actually ends up becoming this weird, convoluted thing that makes people fearful of things that they should not be. For instance, being in like a room or something at night. You'll be in your room, you'll have all the lights off, and you'll just be like blankly staring off into the nothingness that you cannot really see. And your eyes will attempt to focus on whatever area you're looking at, and they'll blur the surrounding area to your mind. To which anytime you move or something, you'll perceive that something in the scenery is moving. Particularly if there's a chair or something in the scenery, your eyes will instantly get drawn to that because you'll think it's moving, and then you'll stare so intently at it that your mind will actually imagine that it's moving anyway. A lot of things like this end up making people super afraid of the dark. And if they have an anxiety disorder or something like that that's going untreated anyway, then most of the time they end up becoming super paranoid and they can't sleep with the lights off or things like that. The same thing applies for whenever you're looking at a magic trick, or rather, more specifically, sleight of hand tricks, particularly the cup one that I think everybody on the planet has seen, where they have one ball under a single cup and then they move the cups around, and at some point in time throughout the performance, they tilt one of the cups towards them to grab the ball or move the ball underneath a different cup. And it's done really quickly, and again, same thing, your eyes, because they tell you specifically to watch the one cup. And you'll focus in on the one cup that you think the ball was in to begin with. And you'll be so focused on that cup moving that you won't actually see the slight amount of movement that they used to grab the ball and reposition it. So you'll be like, what? There's no way. I 100% kept track of that. You didn't move the cups that fast. I clearly saw that the ball was in that cup. Now it's in this one. It's a trick. Well, it is a trick. They're working against your eyes, and unfortunately, the way that the human body works, the more you attempt to find that flaw, or the more you're trying to pay attention, more often than not, the more the trick actually works on you. So, that typically tends to be the case with almost all magic tricks. The more intently you're trying to figure out how it's being done, the easier it is for you to fall for it. So, thanks for joining me for another episode of The Sauce. Click the subscribe button right here, and have a fantastic day. Excuse me, does anybody know where my server is? I ordered a dish and the sides of it are all blurry, and it's starting to scare me. I'd really like another dish if somebody could bring it to me, please.